And we're live. Say something so I know your audio is working.
Hello.
Ah, there you go. All right, we're live.
Back in a bowl again.
Welcome to the Hookah Smiths. Another fun episode for you guys this week. I'm feeling hella dark. Why does my webcam look so dark today? I don't know. Anyway, we got another chef stream of the Lone Sloth packing his bowl at the last minute, as per usual.
The coals are done at least.
Your coals are done before your bowl's packed?
Yeah, a little bit.
Feels bad, man.
It feels real bad. I was playing Ultimate.
Why didn't you just stream Ultimate?
Because I'll get banned.
Will you, though?
Yeah, people are getting banned left and right.
Are people actually streaming it?
They tried.
That sucks. But yeah, welcome to the show. This week we're going to be talking about coals. It's a weird thing to talk about because it's like the thing that people pay the least attention to in their setups. But like, I feel like coals are always like the sleeper. You know, they're like the thing that you don't pay attention to, but you should because it makes a big difference in your setup, how your sessions go. Like, I can't imagine life now without smoking with like cube coals or like even just natural coals if we're going all the way back. But like, so we want to talk about where coals have come from, what they look like now, what they're kind of used for now. Just going through it, kind of talking about how the evolutions of coals have gone, and waiting on his coals to be done. Oh wait, no, your coals are done, aren't they?
Yep.
Coals are done. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be talking about today. But if you guys are new to the stream, for the first 10 minutes or so, we usually do housekeeping, where apparently Alex packs his bowls and we talk. If you guys have any quick questions, we're happy to answer them now. And yeah, hope you guys are doing well. Enjoying your Sunday. Had a nice Thanksgiving. That is, you preheating, bro?
Don't give away all my secret.
What secret? I wasn't aware that was a secret.
Yeah, it's not.
We are removing. Your lighting's changing.
Yeah, we're on the way.
Oh boy, we're moving stream now. Look at that. Look how cute he is. That's the face of a man who's been playing Smash for 2 days.
This is the face of a guy that is not prepared to be on the stream.
Right, what's up, dude? I'm smoking. Oh god, what am I smoking? Oh, I'm smoking Ugly Roller Coaster. It's like a orange and double apple blend. What are you smoking? Looks like Azure?
Yeah, I'm smoking horchata from Viva la Horchata.
How is their horchata?
Pretty good.
You like it?
Wish it was more creamy.
You like Tangier's horchata, don't you?
I like horchata flavors in general,
Yeah.
but I wish it was more creamy.
Frank, if you like a double apple, this is definitely a flavor to try. It's not super heavy on the double apple, but it's just really nice. Oh, dude, I didn't even show you. Do you see these new Fumari packets that they just came out with? You can see it on the stream when it pops up in like 10 seconds. Yeah, they've got new packaging. Maybe it'll show up on stream. Maybe you have to hold it closer.
Boom! Alright.
You left. People can see my dinner.
Let me drop my headphones on.
There we go. Yeah, Mars got new
This
packaging.
is probably better audio.
Yeah, it is. Mars got new packaging. They've got that lovely warning. This product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Continues to pick the audio off of my device. Hello?
I can hear you. Sound fine. But anyway, yeah, so they've got actually like flavors. Can you hear me? This is so scuffed, bro. And he's gone again. God damn it.
One moment. I know what happened. I got a new monitor, and for some reason,
Here's my dinner.
the speaker priority is taken over on that.
What's up, Fool of Wisdom? I can't see all of chat for some reason. Let me open that up. There he is. Yeah, so Mari's doing like flavor-specific packaging now. So like this one actually says it's blueberry muffin. It actually says that what blueberry muffin is, and the Lone Sloth's just gonna keep fucking messing with this Discord.
I don't know why my headset is not like picking up audio.
I don't know, fam. Fool of Wisdom say, "Yo, what's up? Packing up some Tangiers, mixed bowl of their cereal flavors. I love their cereal flavors. They're like, if I tell someone to get into Tangiers and they don't really know what they like, that's a good flavor to try. Good flavors to try because they're just kind of. I think they're pretty accessible. They're just like, it's fruit, kind of tastes like cereal. If you like early 2000 cereal, you like it. You know.
Which one?
Tangiers breakfast cereal flavors.
I do like it. Do like them, but they're. I don't know why. I feel like I haven't even smoked that much of them, but I feel like I smoked too much of them already.
Really? That's fair. I smoked through both
Yeah.
of them. I've smoked through 250 of both of them. I think I actually still have some or kook of one of them. I couldn't tell you which one is which. They taste so
Yeah.
similar. Um, but they're both good. I mean, they're just like easy, basic flavors to get into. It's like they're not my favorite Tangiers flavors, but if I'm gonna show Tangiers to someone, that's a good flavor to pick from because it's just like it's a really poppy flavor, you know. Like it's easy for someone to get into. Not like cashmere peach, where my friends' girlfriends give me weird looks for packing bowls for them.
My first flavor from Tangiers was Ragoon Sunrise.
Oh, that's a hella weird flavor to do for your first.
Yeah, I got it for free. There's this Redditor. He was like super popular for,
Mike?
and huh?
Mike?
No,
You're talking like
he's
5, 6 years ago before.
yes. I'm talking like 2013, and forgot what his name is. I have him on Facebook, but he sent me a few flavors of Tangiers just to try.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then I had those, and my next flavor was cane mint.
Yeah, mine was cane mint. That's like baby's first. It was Berkut cane mint fluff packed in an Egyptian bowl. Feels bad.
Well, it's going.
All right. Let's see what else. Morbid Huskies. Who would have known that nicotine is addictive without that helpful packaging? I mean, like I feel like they've always. Hold on, I've got their old packaging right beside me actually. Does it say anywhere on here that has nicotine in it? Not really.
Which
I'm looking.
the Bentley?
I'm looking at. Okay.
With Famari, isn't it the white part?
Yeah, they've got the huge white bar on it now that says this product contains nicotine. I'm looking at their old packaging to see what they had on there. I guess to be fair,
I think
their old disclaimer was literally just smoking is bad. Well, it's better than hitting someone with an axe. This product contains chemicals known by the state of California to cause cancer, birth defects, or reproductive harm. Underage sale is prohibited. So going from that little white box right there to this hella big white box on the entire packaging, I guess it makes sense. I think it's a little too much. I can only imagine what it's like in Europe.
if you notice on Instagram,
Yeah, all of their
a
posts
lot
have
of-
it.
Yeah. Let me try and switch one more time to my computer. Were you able to hear me when I was switching to my computer?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, I figured. I definitely noticed. Frick says, yeah, actually, Kumari is starting up a new marketing campaign over in EU. Maybe they went full on and went for a rebrand in NA too. Yeah, they swapped marketing directors a while back, and it seems like they go through a lot, but they've actually been pretty consistent in NA for a year or two, I think.
All right, cool. Look, your food's on the stream.
Yeah, it's been on the stream like 9 times already. But, yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. My audio jack is messed up, so I have to like angle my cable really weird. I tried to buy an adapter, and then I have it right here. It's not good.
Lit. Fool of Wisdom says, waiting for my Welsh cream to come in. Other than those, God, I can't read today. I love their Opuntia pear. I don't know how to pronounce that. I always thought it was spelled differently. Pretty good.
It's Puntia pear.
Puntia
Oh,
pear.
Puntia pear. Oh, Puntia.
You have that, don't you?
Yeah, I did. It's gone now.
Did you like it or no?
A Puntia pear is prickly pear.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Is that any good?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it.
Nice.
It's just like tangerine sweet flavors, kind of all like depending on which one it is. It
Yeah.
kind of tastes similar. It kind of tastes like a blend,
Yeah,
I guess. I don't know how to describe
that's
it.
fair.
Their fruit flavors are just a little weird. I like their desserts they're like single fruits.
They do better with single fruits, citrus, mint, and like earthy flavors. But they're like generic fruit flavors. They all kind of get like this generic fruit flavor to them, I guess. It's weird as that sounds.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the kiwi.
That's fair. Let's see what else. Morbid Huskies. I'm about to order a bit of Sir Bentley sometime this week. Definitely should. Sir Bentley is pretty solid. I'm gonna have some reviews on that stuff coming out in the next few weeks, I think, since almost done with class for the semester. Classic TV, dude, what's good? You know, chilling, starting the stream, the usual. How are you? How are you doing? You good?
Oh, Optimus Prime said those clouds. Yeah, I got some nice clouds. Of course.
It's because he preheats. That's all.
Did you see? I took a first few hits and nothing happened. It preheated for like 30 seconds, 20 seconds.
Yeah, preheating it doesn't actually help that much, I don't think. Like, it helps like a minute or two faster. Price says, EU regulation says 70% of package needs to be warning signs now. Yeah, I've seen some of those fucking jank ones from the EU with like the dead babies on it and shit. That is straight fucked. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like when you're buying hookah stuff, you generally know it's got nicotine in it, but you know, Fumar is also like not. It's a very accessible brand. Like it's available everywhere, so maybe it's good that they have a big warning on it instead of that tiny one.
Yes, people need to know.
Yeah. Classic also said, just packed myself a bowl, came by to see what's good. Thanks for coming by, man. Happy to see you. Hope you're smoking
We
something
should probably
good.
get started.
Yes, we should. But I'm just responding. We've actually got like people asking us things tonight. It's weird. So I'm just taking advantage of what we got.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, feels good, man. All right, so if you missed the beginning, what we're talking about today is we're essentially talking about Kohl's, how they started, where they've come from over time, and where we're at now with them, what they kind of do for hookah, and how they kind of shape how we smoke. So I think it's best to start talking about first Lemonwood Kohl. That's essentially not the OG of where Kohl started, but it's like, you know, that's kind of where.
They use like wood or something, right?
Yeah, Lemonwood.
Lemonwood.
It's like essentially a very, very ashy, very flaky coal. It's very messy. They don't last very long. There's no consistency. It's cheap as fuck. And you buy essentially a big bag of it. You light it. It lights fast. It burns. It's a super low temp. That's low temp as well. I actually had it pulled up. I'm going to cover the lone sloth to show you guys wherever the fuck I had it. Here's a scuff picture of it. Just Lemonwood coal. You light a ton of it. You throw it on there. And this one I'm showing you is Alfacher. Alfacher still doesn't do it anymore. You can see behind it, it's discontinued. But essentially, Alfacher made it because it was just, it was one of the first ways to smoke when it came to the U.S. You smoked, Nakla and Alfacher were two of the only brands you had, so that's what you were smoking essentially. And have you ever used Lemonwoods?
No. I don't think I've ever used them before.
Have you? I've held them. Ryan had some.
I've held them.
Ryan had some when I went up to visit him like a year ago. Like Sean had just sent him a pack when he ordered something, and it was just like, yeah, I used it once. It was like the messiest thing I've ever used. But they also that's what started to shape how Kohl's became. That's where we started in the U.S. as far as hookah smoking went.
And quick lights.
Yes, well,
yeah.
Lemonwoods were before quick lights. Lemonwoods essentially influenced quick lights. So to put it in perspective, why quick lights were as popular as they were and as they are now, unfortunately, Lemonwoods were just really bad. They had it was like a 15-minute light life, no consistency whatsoever, and it was just like you lit them, you smoke for a few minutes, they're gone. You got to keep lighting them essentially, or you light a shit ton and throw them on as the session goes down. But even that.
Well, the benefit of them is actually that you can throw some on, and then when they're about to die, you just put more on. They self-light.
Yes, they're like silver tabs.
Silver tabs, yeah.
Yeah, so they weren't super great, and there are a lot of people that still swear by them. A lot of old school smokers still use them, but they were essentially what came to the U.S. when hookah started. And it like Pryke is saying in chat right now, Lemonwood is still pretty widely used in the Arab nations because it's cheap, it's dirty, and it's easy to find in a lot of places. So if that's what you got to use, it's what you got to use. I don't think it would smoke very well with any modern brands, honestly.
Probably not. It probably has a flavoring to it as well.
Yeah, it definitely has a flavor from what I heard. Because it smells terrible. Like, you think about the worst coal you've ever smelled, it's like that on crack. And you're lighting so much of it.
It's like burning wood.
Yeah, it's literally burning wood. So it's loud smelling. it's packing that loud, I guess, but it's an experience. I don't recommend you try it, but I think it's important to talk about where it came from. Do you want to talk a little bit about what came next as far as quick lights?
Okay, so basically, what most people use today that are not enthusiasts is quick light coals. You can buy them at gas stations, uh, hookah stores, smoke shops in general, and they're basically round coals that are very easy to light. You light them with a lighter, and they light up in about a minute. And
Covering your face
you
with
just
some right
put them
now.
on. Covering, they smell.
Yeah,
They smell very bad.
they're absolutely rank.
It's just a generic brand, but there's a lot of brands that make quick lights still, including popular brands such like Starbucks still makes them. And basically, you just put one or two on your bowl. They come in 3 different sizes. I believe it's 2 or 3. I know it's definitely at least 2. And they don't last that long. They last around 20 to 30 minutes. So it's a slight improvement from the lemon woods, I guess. And that's pretty much all there is to them. They add a taste to your bowl.
Yeah, and there are like quote unquote higher quality ones out there. They came about in the early 2000s or so. They were the first real progression from Lemonwood coals, and it was a hell of a step in the right direction because there was consistency among them. That's why they were as popular as they were. It's because you bought a roll, they're all the same size, and maybe they had slight variances, but they were like, it wasn't like pulling a coal out of the Lemonwood coal bag. They're just all different sizes. There was actual consistency, and actual consistency leads to a much easier to manage session in general.
Yeah, but basically these coals, they're really not that great. I've tried a few, especially like there's been a few that have been released in the past couple of years that the smoke shop I used to work for said would be good, and I thought they were terrible. But yeah, they're still getting released because they're very cheap and easy to find. Coconut coals are much harder to find
They're also
unless you're going to like a dedicated place.
they're also easier to light. Like you don't have to use you can
Yeah, that's the
like
thing.
that's when I started smoking. I was smoking in my mom's basement when I was like 18 or so. I didn't have a burner to use. I had to go out and buy one eventually. But I had a torch, so I used to use a propane torch, and it was easier to light like that. So it's a hell of a lot more accessible to do that, and it's hard to understand that something's considerably better until you have the natural coals. But it's also that level of change from going from quick light coals to natural coals. That's the kind of switch it was when you went from lemon woods to quick lights. It was just such a substantial difference that they became as popular as they were and continue to be, unfortunately.
I I believe they were the only option until around 2006 when Coconara became a thing. I think they were the first.
Yes. Well, there were a few steps between that. So in I think it was like 2003 or 2004, we had a variant of quick light come out that were called silver tabs. Silver tabs you might know of still exist now. They're silver coals essentially that light very easily. They're very low heat coals, very messy, but they light off of each other like lemonwood coals do. But they were also recommended by Tangiers when Tangiers came out, and that's why they still exist essentially because Tangiers actually makes them now, don't they?
Yeah, Tangiers does make
A brand of them.
make a brand of them.
Yeah,
They have their own Tangiers quick or what's it called, silver tabs,
yeah,
because the owner swears that that's the best way to smoke them.
yeah, and
Their flavors.
yeah, and it's just essentially it's sorry, one sec. But yeah, essentially it was just such a big step in the right direction that the difference between silver tabs and quick lights wasn't big enough for people to just hop on the quick light or the silver tab train from quick lights. Because looking at the difference, like I said, between quick lights and natural coals now, that was the size of the difference between lemonwood to quick light. And going from quick light to silver tab, it's not nearly as big of a difference. It is a slight bump, so maybe there's some enthusiasts that were using them, but they still weren't they weren't going to be nearly as popular as quick lights were, just because of they were harder to get. It was a niche audience that wanted them, and they didn't offer as many tangible benefits.
On top of that, like quick lights were just so available and so popular that people already knew about it, and they felt there was no reason to switch.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then from there, we started seeing brands like Exotica come into place. And I think that was mid 2000s, like 2005, 2006 or so. We saw the Exotica Coals come out with their finger-like designs that were they pure wood. They're not pure wood, but they had wood in them, didn't they?
They had one that was made out of wood, and then they had a coconut one as well.
The coconut one came later, though, right?
Yeah, they definitely came later. The one, I think the ones in the yellow box were the wooden ones.
Right, and the wooden ones.
I think I have some.
The wooden ones were pretty popular, and they're actually still pretty popular if you look at like Brazilian culture and stuff like that. They were like quick lights, but better. They were more consistent. They lasted longer. They did ash a ton, but they also didn't impart quite nearly. I don't think they imparted any flavor from what I've heard. I've never smoked them personally, but from what I understand, they were very low impact as far as the flavor on your bowl went. So
The coconut ones were pretty good.
yes,
I can't really find them too much, but
right. The coconut ones.
I actually found them locally.
Yeah, those came later and as a response to Coconaras. But first, let's talk about Coconaras. Do you want to go ahead and talk about Coconaras for a little bit? What they did?
So coconuts basically made this coal. They were they're flat coconut coals that you probably know of today, that shape and that size, and they basically changed the game. It was a huge step up. It was the biggest improvement that the hookah industry has seen in terms of charcoal, especially at that time, and that you had to light them with a burner. You need a burner. So most people just bought a portable burner that you can buy at like Walgreens or CVS,
Yep.
and you would light them on there for 10 minutes, and they'd be good to go. They'd last for about an hour, and you typically would use 2 or 3. And that was the first company, I believe, that made coconut coals. But they basically changed the way we smoke today.
Yeah, but it also was. It wasn't quite as it was as drastic of a difference as going from Lumberwoods quick lights, but it was a much less accessible variant because, like you said, you have to have a burner to use them. A lot of people, like I said, I didn't have a burner when I started smoking. You have to go out and buy an additional burner to use these coals. So that's a lot of the reason why they're still not the only. It's not like that's why quick lights aren't dead. Essentially, you know what I mean? Like the reason quick lights still exist is because of the accessibility of coconut coals. You have to have a burner. They take 10 minutes to light up, which I had a friend for the longest time did not want to use coconut coals. How long they took to light up. And
they're just like, if you want to smoke them anywhere else other than some place with an
Right.
outlet, it's kind of annoying.
yeah, it's hard.
Size of a Scrabble tile. Yeah, that would be about right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pike said, from what I've gathered, coconut coals we use today originate from Germany. Popped up in 2004. They were marketed as barbecue coals. Hookah smokers here in Germany figured out while barbecuing that those coals are actually a lot better for smoking than quick lights, and that's when the coal probably started.
That's where
So maybe that's where it's.
that might have been where coconut coals quote unquote came from, but Coconara was the first brand to actually put them out for hookah, market them towards hookah smokers, and the timing of Coconars was actually really important too, because 2006 or so was about when Hookah Pro started, the Hookah forums, Royal Hookah Forum. That's when both of those websites they were getting their origins. So you started having these online communities of elitist smokers, quote unquote elitist, who quote unquote knew what they were talking about, and for the time they did. They knew that Tangiers was good. They were like, oh dude, you can order stuff online. You don't have to go to smoke shops anymore. And there was all kinds of different things that these communities bring to the table. And you think about today, we talk in communities all the time. Like, I mean, you guys probably heard about us posting about this in some kind of hookah community. Those communities, at their very origin, you got to think about how exciting it was for them to be around. For them to hop on this one bandwagon of coconut coals. That's essentially how coconut coals got their start, is because they had the perfect timing. And it wasn't even on purpose. They came out at the same time, around the same time, as the Royal Hookah Forums and Hookah Pro. These elitist smokers were trying to find the best way to smoke, and for the time, that was absolutely the best way to smoke. And I think without them, it would have been a lot harder to get coconut coals to the market. But I think that was also just a natural progression that would have happened over time. It's just, getting communities.
So, do you know if Hookah John was the one to make the next variation of coconut coals?
What do you mean next variation?
Well, not next variation, but the next brand that became popular.
Yeah, I think titaniums were a pretty direct response. Titanium. Well, it was what Chronicles came out first, didn't they?
Chronics, yeah.
Yeah, Chronicles came out first in pretty much as a direct response, and it was pretty much every after that. It was like Coconut came out. There's like a year and a half gap, I think, and then Chronicles came out, and after that, you started seeing a lot of other brands hit the market. But I think Coconut remained dominant for almost a decade. They started to peter off in the early 2010s, so like 2012, I think, 2013. You started seeing
Yeah.
Chronic and Titaniums become pretty popular. And it wasn't until like 2014, 2015 when Coconut started to take a dip, you started to see other brands coming into the spotlight. And I think, ironically enough, it was other brands coming into the spotlight that allowed new coal variants to shine. Because you look at what we're smoking today, we're still using coconut coal. So Coconut changed the game to the extent where we're still using that kind of coal. Sure, not Coconut's, but it was still such a game changer that we're using just variants. The same thing, just different and better.
Yeah. Two people asked what we're smoking, so I guess we should probably answer that
Go
question.
for it.
I am smoking Viva la Horchata by Zerk, and I'm smoking out of my typical NARS hookah.
I'm,
And for you?
I'm smoking Ugly Roller Coaster on Alpaca Predator Bull, Provost 2 Charcoal Flare XL Cubes, B2 Precious Cut, B2 hose. Hit myself in the face with it, but it's fine. The usual setup, I guess. I haven't smoked this flavor in a hot minute, so I wanted to smoke it.
Well, anyways, I wanted to mention the biggest reason we saw such a large dip in quality from Coconaro was not because they couldn't necessarily do it, but I'm pretty sure Hookah John bought their warehouse that they were making
Yeah, that's what
the factory.
that's what I heard. Because essentially, it was Coco Brico was who started Coconara, and they had a factory in Indonesia where most coals come from. And Hookah John bought that part of Coco Brico and took over Coconara. Coconara continued to persist in their own manner. So from what I understand, it was Coco Brico existed at first. They started making things under the Coconara name. Then Coconara became popular. Coco Brico started making their own coals. Coconara was bought by a different company that's their own thing now. Hookah John bought the company where Coconara was making them from. Now Coconara exists on its own with a different factory. Hookah John owns the factory that Coconara originally came from. That's who's making titaniums now. And Coco Brico does their own thing as well. That's how I understood it anyway.
Coconaro just switched and it looks like New bought them out.
No, actually, so the owner of New, I believe, was one of the owners of Coconara, from what I understood. Because Coconara came first. And then New came a little bit later. I think that he was an owner of Coconara, from what I understood anyway. He made his own tobacco, and I think he branched off and made his own coals, but they might be affiliated. You could be right on that.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but I actually didn't know that, so that's good to know.
Yeah. But yeah. They suck now as of 2 weeks ago. They're blacking out like crazy. They never used to. They suck as of 2 years ago, realistically. That dip started, what, 2015, 2016 at least? At the latest.
No, earlier.
Yeah.
A little bit earlier, I think.
It was like, I started noticing it in like late 2015, I think. Or maybe mid 2015.
Depends where you're able to get a batch.
Yeah, and it depends, like, local smoke shops, the turnover rate's going to be a lot different. Anyway, so from there, let's talk about where coconut coals have gone. So, I think it was, 2014, 2013, that Hookah John came out with the Cube Coal. The Cube Coal was actually not that popular for a long time. Like, you gotta think that coal is, 5 years old now or so? The Cube Coal?
I think so. Maybe a little bit longer, but I don't think, when I first started, they were very popular at all.
Yeah, and honestly, Cube Coals were around when I started smoking, but they didn't start to get popular until, 2016 or 2017, really.
Yeah, I used them on Tangiers back in the day. Medwalk made some good ones.
Yeah, they smelled like shit, though.
They smelled bad, but I did use them back in the day. Smoked Tangiers.
Yeah. Let me pull that back up wherever the fuck I got it. Yeah. So essentially now, covering your face again, this is what we've got. We've come to the point where we had flats. We started here. We went to cubes after that, and now we're even got to the point where we've got these middle ground between cubettes. I think it's really interesting to look at how we've smoked has changed. And it's almost in direct response to the Lotus. Cube coals existed when the Lotus came out, but because you could only fit two in them, people didn't really buy cubes until things like the Ignis came out, where you could use more than one or more than two cubes and get a great smoke out of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was the Razor and the Ignis that started that wave in North America.
Yes.
I believe they have other heat management devices in Europe, and I know they've been using them for quite a while.
Yeah, and that
Maybe Pride can tell us the answer to that.
yeah, cube coals have been popular there for a little bit longer. Like I think they started picking up there in like 2014 or so, because they were already popular there when I started smoking. But it took a while here because of things like the Lotus and how popular the Lotus was. So when we got a heat management device that allowed us to use more and use ample amounts of cubes for a session, we started to actually see them become popular. And I think now cubes are more popular, at least in the enthusiast spectrum, than any other coal because of how long they last, and there's no like downside to using a cube, realistically.
Yeah, definitely not, because they last longer just because they're bigger in size. Another coal that exists that's pretty new is the hex coal.
Yes.
I still haven't used them, but I have them.
Yeah, so hex coals are actually just a variant of the finger coals we were talking about earlier that Exotica made that were just long coals essentially. And because of how they didn't used to sell, but people liked them. The enthusiasts used them before coconut coals came out. In the last year or so, we've seen these hex coals come out, and we've seen them become popular because they're usable. They're decent coals, and they provide a different spectrum of heat. Like they're lower heat generally, but they cover more of the bowl, so it allows to get more even cook of like a dark leaf brand, for instance. I was using them on Azure Dark for a while.
Brazilians use them a lot as well.
Yeah, Brazilians love them, dude. It's insane.
Yeah, they always put like 2 or 3 of those on foil.
Yeah.
They love hex coals.
Yeah.
I think they might have. They probably started that.
Yeah, I think Exotica is a Brazilian company, isn't it? I'm like 90% sure they are.
Exotica?
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that one.
If they
couldn't give you the answer for that one.
If they're not, then they're just immensely. I know they're immensely popular down there, if nothing else. But yeah.
Yeah, they definitely were.
So we've kind of talked about where coals have been, how they've come across. So now we kind of want to talk about where are they going to go next. This is something that I always like to think about. Like, we've seen a huge progression of coals over the last 20 years since we got the first quick light. What's the next game changer? Where do you think we go from these coconut cubes that we're using today? Do you think we just abandon coals altogether and go with like an electric heating mechanism? What are your thoughts?
I think that would be the next thing that could be created, and that it would have to be done really well, because we've seen it happen before.
Yeah.
In the past, and it's just not being done well, because when you take a hit, the coals, when you're not hitting it, the coals like cool down. But when you take the hit, the coals heat up the bowl even
further.
Because
the oxygen is being passed through the coals. Like you're literally pulling oxygen oxygen through them. They're heating it up, and they're heating up the tobacco as you pull. So it's a really hard thing to imitate. Like, how does it detect when you're smoking? Like, it has to have some kind of AI, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And when you exhale, or when you blow into it and you purge it, then you're cooling down your bowl.
Yeah.
So it's got to know. It would have to know when.
Yeah, and not only that,
to do all of these different functions.
Not only that, but I think for it to really be popular, you'd have to have it be diverse enough and customizable enough to where you can set different temperatures for each different kind of type of tobacco that you're smoking.
Different brand. Yeah.
Yeah, like Tangiers, maybe set that on some low heat, but also, do you just have it like? Do you have, say it's a circular thing like at HMD? Do you have the entire thing heat up, or do you have it just in like 3 individual spots on the base where it heats up there?
I think that the whole thing would have to heat up, because even though we put 3 coals. Or in my case, not everyone does, but I put 3 coals in there. The whole thing is hot.
Right.
So it's not like 3 set spots are getting hot. It's the whole bowl. And that's why HMDs are so popular, because it evenly cooks all around.
Right. But do you think think about like smoking with foil. When you're smoking with foil, you've got three. Say you're using three coals in like a harmony bowl. Those three spots on the bowl are going to be the ones that are getting heated. That's particular.
Yeah.
Do you
Well, yeah. Then you rotate them.
exactly? It would have to be like a vape coil with set state at stable temp to keep it hot or warm and on pull increase heat. Yeah, it would have to stay hot for like the whole session. Like you'd definitely have to maintain some kind of idle temperature essentially, where it's heated enough to keep the bowl rolling, but not to the point where it's charring the bowl. And I think
Well, we see that in vaping
yeah, exactly.
in general. Like a couple of years ago when temp control came out,
Yes.
that was like a big thing. That's basically what we need to take the next step. Temp control would be what we need.
Yes, but do you set it to be completely idle? Like you think about a vape coil, it's not hot when you're not hitting it, right? It only heats up.
Yeah, it's
And
not.
it superheats essentially when you're smoking or vaping, I guess.
Hmm.
But you wouldn't be able to do that in hookah because you want to keep the heat going. You can't just put direct heat on the bowl at any given point. Like you can't just have it constantly heating up and cooling down. It'll make a really
Yeah.
shitty smoke. So it'd have to,
It would definitely need AI.
yeah, or at least like some kind of base essentially mechanism.
Well, like the only reason we were even considering it as a possibility for a switch would be that it's just healthier in general because coals put out carbon monoxide.
Yeah, I think the real reason you make the switch is you never have to buy a coil again. Say you get one good one, maybe you have to replace like
Yeah.
a coil once in a while or something, but you never have to buy coils again. Realistically, I mean, you probably always want to have one around, but you don't like it would make it a clean smoke. You would actually have zero variance when it comes to like flavor impacting your bowl. It would just make for a very clean smoke. And we're not talking about why make the jump. We're talking about like essentially
If it was to
if the
exist.
next jump were to happen. This is what we're kind of speculating it would be more than anything.
But yeah, coconut coals are perfectly good for me right now. There's many good companies that make coconut coals. We have Prestige, we have Cocoa Earth.
Yeah,
Like, I'm happy with what we have.
right. We're just trying to think of, Coconut made the change in 2004 or whenever the fuck they came out, 2006. And what's the next big step from there? Because there will be a progression. It's not gonna be coconut coals for the rest of our lives. Or maybe it will be, and I'm just fucking spitballing here. And I think you're right in that coconut coals will be around for a long, long time. Like, even if this mechanism came out tomorrow, it's not like that's it's not gonna be the one thing that everyone buys. Like, there's so many people that are still using quick lights, so that transition would take at least a decade for people to catch on to. And even then, it's gonna be something that's probably at least decently expensive enough to where it wouldn't.
Yeah, it would be quite expensive.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be accessible to everyone. I don't think it could be too expensive though. I think it'd have to be like the price of like a Lotus or something.
Probably be like $100.
Would people buy it for $100?
It depends how good it is.
That's true, I guess. I think it would be a hard sell at $100.
Yeah, it depends. Like when you think of something that like new technology that comes out, you don't expect it to be super cheap.
Yeah. Full of Wisdom says, I mean, they have the Starbuzz thing you throw on instead of a bowl to vape through hookah, so it's getting close, I'd say. Yeah, there have been a lot of different, like, vapes that you can just...
Vape bowls.
Yeah, vape bowls that you put on your hookah, but we're thinking of ways to smoke the tobacco itself with any bowl, realistically, but I don't know, do you think you'd have to have a special kind of bowl?
I would hope that it would be very similar in size to a normal heat management device because like it's such a uniform design at this point that
Right.
like we already have all the bowls. So hopefully if that was to come to fruition, then it would be in that shape and size.
Buzz, motherfucker. Do you think that it would, if it had to come with its own bowl? I don't think it'd sell at all if you had to use a specific bowl with it, because then
Exactly.
then you roll into the problem of different tobaccos smoked differently in different types of bowls. Like you don't need a deep ass bowl for Tangiers. You don't need a shallow ass bowl for Fokker.
Yeah. There would have to be some variation in bowls if they were to be very specific.
Frank said, I definitely have at least 1 to 2 customers daily asking for an electric alternative, so there definitely is a high demand for it. Yeah, and I think lounges would actually be one of the first, like, first big sellers to it. 'Cause telling them that they're
That would be heavily benefit them.
tell them you're not you can't run out of coals. Like, ah, I don't know. It'd be interesting. Also, like, coal manufacturers have such a high stake in the market right now that it'd be hard to leverage against anyone who makes coals. Like, how are you going to sell that to Hookah John, who literally just makes its own coals?
Yeah, depends. It's like the market. I feel like that would either get that first would be like Europe or Brazil.
And they never gets anything good first.
Never. We're just now getting all of the good European stuff. So.
I mean, we get the B2 first, so that's something, I guess. We got one thing.
We got the one thing.
Feels bad,
yeah.
man.
Coal, even something we didn't really touch on is like the improvement of coconut coals.
Yes.
Like, you know, they were decent when they started. They weren't definitely not bad, but we've seen improvements where they last longer. The shape is more uniform,
Mm-hmm.
and they have some coconut coals have way less taste or none at all compared to ones that previously existed or ones that still do exist.
Ash content too.
So,
ash content's got down a ton.
Ash content, that's a big one.
Yeah, there have been a lot of little improvements that like have added up over time. Like, I'm sure if I held up a Coconara, you could do a side by side time lapse of Coconara's next to like a prestige coal or maybe even a titanium coal, just see how long it lasts. You could test the heat that's coming out of it, consistency.
I wish we could like get an original box of Coconaras, like the really good ones that people loved.
God.
And then compare it to something that we have today.
Yeah. IDK, TBH, lounges get their coals at wholesale for like $2-3 a kilo here, so they probably are hard to impress for pounds. Sorry, I don't know what the fuck that dollar sign is. I'm dumb. Prices for you guys are different though, so maybe we'll get a solution first, and after that's been worked out, it's slowly trickling to the EU market. Yeah, I mean, coals are insanely cheap when you're buying them like large packs at a time. Like, even like you can buy 10 kilos for a retail for $80. That's $8 a kilo.
I actually need to buy a new case.
Yeah, I need to buy a case too. But my local shop started carrying charcoal flares, so it's like I could just go buy one when I need them, I guess. I don't know. I'm lazy. I haven't made an order in a hot minute.
I just made my order with the Hookah set. I'm surprised that went well. They even called me. They called me that they had some flavors they were missing. It was a kilo of Nirvana they didn't even have. They had it on the website, but they called me and they're like, "Oh, we don't have this, so we'll send you 10 individual 100-gram bags of a different flavor if you want."
Jesus
so
Christ,
I got that.
that's insane.
I don't mind. And they didn't have any black lava left because it was posted on the Hookah Facebook pages and they bought all of it.
Yeah, it was like what, like $4 a kilo or $10 a kilo, something stupid like that.
It was 10, and I was gonna grab 2 or 3. Now I'm sad.
Yeah, no. People are like, there were a lot of people I saw that copped like just like 5-6 kilos. They're just trying to off.
I got 3.
Yeah.
I got 3 for $40.
Yeah.
So I'm really not complaining.
Yeah, they're just trying to offload it, I'm sure. Black lava might just be dead. Who knows?
I haven't heard from them in a long time.
Well, I think I've told you how I feel about them, but that's a...
You have.
Yeah.
That's another story for another day.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've just about covered everything we want to talk about, though, so we're going to open up the floor to any questions you guys have, any thoughts you had on what we've been talking about. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to us on YouTube. There's a button around here somewhere that I'm pointing to. I think it's down here, maybe? Or down here? I don't really know. Subscribe to us on YouTube, because we're trying to get that 100 sub mark so we can have that custom URL.
Also, follow us on Twitch.
Yeah, follow us on Twitch. You don't get anything special for that, but you get the notification when we're going live. We go live.
Yeah.
Be live 2 weeks from now as well. Yeah. You guys have any ideas for the next show where you want to see us talk about? I think actually next show we might get a guest on.
Oh yeah, that would be our
10th episode.
one. We need to get a guest. That one should be really fun.
Yeah. So that one will be to be determined who we're gonna get on. I'm gonna see if Mason can get on from Mason Hookah Bowls. That'd be fun.
That'd be great.
Yeah. I'll just have to pack my Mason bowl.
I'll be sure to pack mine as well.
Yeah. I just actually cleaned mine.
And I'm gonna smoke out of my Nara's again because that's his favorite hookah.
Yeah, he's got like he's stocked on Nars. He's got like 5 or 6.
What was the most surprisingly pleasant flavor you've smoked? Hmm, that is quite hard. Do you have an idea on that answer?
Hmm. So I'm guessing you're talking about a flavor that like I didn't expect to be good, essentially, which I guess would be,
I guess so.
I guess would be like, hmm.
That's a very hard question. Because I typically won't buy something if I think it's going to be terrible.
Yeah, I think cashmere plum actually. I was not expecting cashmere plum to be a good flavor from Tangiers, because I plum does not sound like a good smoke. Like plum's a pretty mute and chill flavor. I didn't expect it to work very well with the Tangiers cashmere, and but you know it actually blended super well. Very clean, very smooth smoke, and it's just very very solid. I was that was one that was surprisingly pleasant.
Taking a look at my list, I need to actually. I have this list. I don't know if you remember.
Oh, I remember.
I haven't. Yeah, it's got like 300 flavors on it, and I haven't updated it since December 31st, 2016. So this year I'm going to update it. It's got a lot to add.
Good lord, you said 2016?
Yeah, there was already 300 flavors on
Good
it.
lord,
I probably
dude.
smoked another 200 or 300 flavors.
Feels bad, man. Full of Wisdom says, is cashmere cherry any good? Yes, I love cashmere cherry, but in the market for a good cashmere cherry, I would actually recommend checking out Azure Dark's What Else flavor. It's like cashmere cherry with a little subtle mint flavor. The shit is so good. I would definitely recommend checking that out.
I'm still looking at this list. I'm trying to see what flavor was like really good that I expected to be not good.
Prike said, did I get my hands on Kismet yet? No, and I'm sad.
Yeah, isn't that like extremely expensive to get here?
That's Dark Side, I think you're thinking of, but Kismet.
Oh, Dark
It's
Side.
like anything, honestly, is super expensive to get here from EU because just the. Sometimes you have to pay import tax, sometimes you don't, and it's expensive just to ship it alone. Because I mean, international shipping's at least generally like $30.
You know, I kind of think I have an answer to that question, but it's not necessarily giving you a specific flavor. Like, there's been flavors that I thought could be good that just sounded a little odd. Like, oh, for example, what's what's that brand? Oh, Afzal, the Pan Rosna. I thought that would be mad weird. But, oh, it is weird, but I like that a lot. It's definitely a weird flavor.
I just typed that to you. Full of Wisdom, you can read that. It's a 5-star exclusive flavor. What Else by Azure.
Oh,
Optimus Prime on YouTube says, I actually built an electric heating element for Hookah once and did testing with a microcontroller. The downside to it is that you won't get the clouds that we get today. Yeah, and I think it's definitely possible to do that. I think you can build it to the point where you get the same kind of clouds we've got today. It takes, I think it would take at least like very basic AI, but like probably write something with a bunch of if-then statements. If Tangiers heat low or some shit like that. I don't know. It would be it'd be an interesting project, but I don't think it would be that difficult. It just require a lot of testing and a lot of prototyping to get right.
yeah, it would take a very special person to have to dedicate a lot of time for a lot of different brands.
I heard rumors a while ago that Shisha Bucks was actually working on something like it, but I don't know. I've never heard anything like any prototypes being done, any actual development coming from it, but just some rumors I heard.
Oh yeah, I think speaking of them, their new cast HMD is basically the same as the other one. It's much cheaper. It's coming out soon.
What are they calling it, like the regular Stratus or something like that?
Something like that. But it should be good. I mean, but I don't know how it could be bad if it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's just the same.
Just a lot cheaper.
Same thing, just cheaper. I mean, if like the casting is trash, then the locking mechanism can get stuck. So there are ways it could be bad, but it'd be rough. Full of Wisdom says, I'll have to try it. Wish someone else sold it other than them. You and me both.
Well, it's an exclusive that they have partnership with for that flavor. So I think you're shit out of luck, buddy. Oh wait, what's the other brand that or the other company that buys from them and resells?
Hookah Junkie?
Let me take a look. Maybe they have it.
I don't think they would. Maybe, but I'd be surprised.
I don't know. We'll take a look.
Morbid Husky says, finally put my coal on, and that sizzle though. That sizzle is very satisfying. part of my day.
1 coal or 3 coals?
I mean, he said coal, so I'm assuming just one big.
Oh, by the way, Hookah Junkie does sell what else?
Really?
Yep.
Legitimately surprised. That's actually pretty cool.
They have, every other flavor says how many they have available, so I'm assuming this one only has 1 available.
Yeah. Interesting.
Well, at least they have 1.
One's better
Means
than
you can
none.
get it. I don't know, fool. I might have to grab it before you. That'd be so troll. Like, we tell them where to buy it, and then we just buy the one.
Buy the only one they've got. Done.
But yeah, full of wisdom, you should check them out. If you haven't purchased from them before, I've heard really good stuff about them.
Yeah, I still need to order from them at some point. I've never actually ordered from them.
Yeah, they sell a lot of good stuff. I mean, how could they not?
They sell everything though. That's all. They just sell like everything at 5-star. Well, most of what 5-star sells. I think they don't have a lot of like random bullshit that they sell.
Ooh, what is this? A lotus cage.
A lotus cage? What is the purpose of that?
This is weird. Wait, if you want to put this on the stream, you
Just screen share it.
Oh, true?
Hola, Lucas.
Hello. Look at this.
What is the purpose of this?
Look, it's literally like...
A lotus with a cage?
Yeah. They have more photos.
I want to see it in... Oh my god, that's like a knockoff lotus.
It's interesting. Depends how good the quality is.
Yeah, that's actually super weird. Very unique to say the least. Sounds like you need to buy it. Oh, so you actually mod your lotus? Remove cloud and unscrew 3 screws from it? What the fuck?
Okay, so it's just the cage. And you put your own lotus in it.
How does that fit on a bowl?
Well, it fits the same way. It's just like the cage goes, like the bottom of it goes over the bowl.
That's so fucking weird.
That's assuming that the bowl is not like, I don't know. It's assuming that the bowl is only that wide.
Go back.
It's not sitting in it.
Go back to a picture of it set up. Bottom one. That's so weird. It doesn't even look like that's a lotus that's in there though.
Well, it's not, but they're saying that you should use your own.
Okay.
This product only works with the Cloud Lotus.
Interesting.
It says you're more than likely gonna have to use the newer Lotus because they have different screws.
This is the weirdest shit I've ever seen.
Anyway.
Alright. Well, that's the thing.
That's the thing. I don't want to look at it ever again.
Hate that I have to put you back in full screen every time.
Oh, look. We got Lucas to show up. He shows up in the last 5 minutes. What's up, buddy?
Hey, better show up in the last 5 minutes than not show up at all.
That's true. And, his website's coming along, too.
What's his website?
It's not... right now, it's currently unavailable, but I've been talking to him about it. It's, Hazy Hookah.
Oh.
It's the logo we have in the bottom.
I just didn't know his actual name. I've talked to him on Discord a few times.
Yeah. Should be pretty cool. Bunch of reviews on there. He's going to be selling his own bowls as well, I believe.
And once he has that up, we can have him on. He actually did all of our like layout and stuff. You guys didn't know, so we can have him on to talk about his website for a little bit. Talk about Hookah
and bowls.
stuff.
We can talk about
talk about his bowls.
Talk about the creation of bowls.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
It's his process. Yeah, super good guy.
Yeah.
Like we said, guys, if you have any questions, we got 5 minutes left. If not, we can always leave you alone until next time.
Yeah.
Wait, is there any hookah product that you plan on buying soon?
Me?
Yeah. Something you're interested in?
I need to buy another flashback bowl because my cat's broke mine.
I now have oh, well, actually, I just got another Phalian.
Yeah, you told me about
2
that.
weeks ago? Yeah.
I've been thinking
I'm
about
enjoying. That's what I'm using
I've
now.
been thinking about busting out my Phalium, but I don't want that to break. I don't want to risk that one.
Yeah. Turns out that my most commonly used bull is the alien variation bulls.
Yeah, that's generally what I use too. I think. I mean, that or alpaca bulls. Sarah said rip bull. Yeah, that bull got destroyed. I like still have it in the kitchen because I don't want to like throw it away because I love that bull.
Glue it for aesthetics
I'm not.
only.
I'll keep it in pieces.
Damn, I just remembered my stone bowl that I had for like a week and it's broken now.
How did you break that?
So basically, I was seeing a friend I haven't seen in a long time, and I had shisha, or he had the shisha in his hand,
Mm-hmm.
and I had the bowl in my hand,
Mhm.
and he was handing it to me, and I went like this, and I threw it.
Yeah. Guys probably hear World of Warcraft real quick because I'm fucking alt tabbed. Feels bad.
Oh, cool. Lucas has a question for us. Here's the question: what's your opinion on mini cubes with so many different sizes available? 25, 26, now even 31. I like mini cubes. They're good, especially if you have like a normal sized Lotus.
Yeah,
Um,
they have a market, I think, but it's not the most prevalent market. I have a personally hard time using them because I actually have some on my desk right here, Fuokos. But
Huokos.
But I have a hard time justifying them because they're not big enough to be good for a long session, but they're not small enough to be good for a short session. And I'm very much like one way or the other. I either want a really quick, dirty session with some flats, or I want to go a long ass time, spark up some fucking XL cubes, and smoke for like 9 hours straight. You know what I mean?
Optimus Prime said, "What is your preferred cube size to use daily?" I believe 25 is the most popular size here.
I'm using these XLs. I
20.
don't actually know what size they are, but they're my favorites because it lasts forever.
Yeah, I've been sticking with flats because I wanted to buy the 10 kilo box from Hookah, but it was either get the extra large cubes or the flats at the time which I was buying them. But this time I might get regular cubes.
Yeah.
If they have them. Oh, they do. You might have to get those instead. Their flats are still really good. Like, they last quite a while.
Yeah. But we're about out of time, guys. If you have any last minute questions, good time to ask them. We gotta head out a minute early.
You got some World of Warcraft to play?
Yeah, I gotta do raid leading and stuff.
I might go back to my friend's house to play Ultimate. He lives 2 houses down.
There you go.
The game is sick. It's kind of toxic. It's toxic.
You're gonna get banned for talking about it.
Bro, the game is toxic.
The Hookah Smith is gonna get just shut down for talking about it.
I mean, something in the Hookah community or the Smash community that everyone's saying, like since the game came out, is everyone's saying, yeah, I played it. I've been playing it at the mall for like 6 hours, or like I've seen and heard this, and I've heard it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
All right, guys. Well, that's gonna do it from us tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you guys have any suggestions for the next show, feel free to DM us, hit us up on Discord, Facebook, YouTube, Reddit, Twitter.
Everywhere.
Twitter, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
I'll give you my phone number.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will catch you guys in 2 weeks. Have a good night.